Lost weight, more energy, less pain. What's not to love? Why not try it? Mounjaro has changed my life. A whole year. 1 whole year on Mounjaro. What's changed? Maybe I've lost some weight. Yeah, sure. Maybe I feel better. Yeah. Maybe I'm not in pain anymore. Oh yeah. Maybe I don't need my mid-afternoon naps anymore. Wow, I used to nap a lot. Actually thinking about it, I used to be in a heck of a lot of pain. I took Mounjaro a year ago for the first time. Me and Mounjaro, this is a life-changing experience. And I'm not being dramatic. I can be dramatic if you want me to put on a skit for you or something, I will. But this is serious stuff. This is my life. I feel as though I am a new person. My husband actually calls me, or one of his names, he calls me Benjamin Button, because I'm getting fitter and younger. Well, I know I'm not getting younger, but I'm fitter than I have been in over 12 years. It wasn't just the food noise that stopped right away. It was the suppression that I didn't feel hungry all the time. It took a bit of getting used to for the first few days that my day wasn't ruled by what I needed to eat, or I needed to eat something right now, or eat something really bad right now. It's weird because you've had the injection, and I had read so many things and watched so many people on social media talk about it, but you still think, is it really going to work for me? I've had this problem all these years and I've been so down about it. Is it really going to work? And let me tell you, it does, and it did, and it is just, it's incredible. Some people say it's a shortcut, some people say it's cheating. Do you know what? Whatever they think, I don't care. I don't care. For me, and for thousands of people around the world, it's been life-changing. So what's not good about that? Why? And that's what modern medicine's all about. It's about helping us. If you had a headache, would you not take a paracetamol just to get rid of it? Of course you would. So if there's something that's going to help you with a condition like obesity that is having a real detrimental effect on your life, why not take it? So, do you want to know some facts and figures? Some numbers. So when I started, I was 14 stone and 1 pound. Now before this, I was even bigger, I was even more weighty, if you like. I had started to cut down a little bit on my own. But it was a photograph I saw of myself that really upset me, and I'm glad I noticed it for what it was. I needed a wake-up call. So I spoke to my doctors about it and they went, yeah, let's just try it, go on it. So I had to pay for it privately, which, okay, it's expensive, but I thought, this is my health, it's really important. So I started on 2.5 milligrams and had my injection on the Sunday night. And as I said, the suppression was pretty instant, and the food noise, instant again. So in the first week, at the end of the first week, I got on the scales and I lost 4 pounds. I thought, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's not as much as some people are losing, but yeah, I'll take it. Second week, I lost another 3 pounds. Third week, another 2 pounds. So in the first month, I'd lost 11 pounds, which I thought was quite good. But it wasn't just the weight I was losing, it was the way I was feeling. Now, I'm a napper, especially with being retired all these years, and with pain, a lot of pain. I get a lot of tiredness, so I would have a sleep every afternoon, and it's a bit of a standing joke in my house. It's like an hour and a half, I would just either go to bed, lie down on settee, dogs on my lap, gone. And my husband, bless him, accepted this, and he thought, well, if it helps Heidi get through the rest of the day, she's got to have a nap. So I did, and that became part of my life. But the only thing with that, when you're napping every afternoon, it cuts your day quite short. And especially when the children were still in school, they're adults now, but they were still in school, and I had to have my nap, then go for the school run, which is quite a long school run in the car. So that was a few hours out of my day, which now I'm not napping. I've got like the whole day, and I have to stop myself from doing so much because I've got this energy, abundant energy. Anyway, I'm jumping. So the first month, £11. Second month, £8. Then third month, £5. Fourth month, 4. 5 month, £4. 6 month, 4.5, and on like that. So it's pretty much it's evened out because it's now a year. This week it's a year, and I've lost 52, 53 pounds. So if you even it out over the, or average it over the year, it works out, you know, £1 a year, 52 weeks in a year, obviously. But there was, I mean, I do have some plateaus, and they're really frustrating. I did flatline over Christmas as it was, and I was quite pleased with that because, again, I wasn't binge eating like I used to, but I was having things that I probably wouldn't normally eat day to day, a few more chocolates here and there. I think because they were there, I was just having them. I didn't have that burning passion to eat them, but I did have some. So I had a few plateaus. I think last summer as well, sort of in the middle of my journey so far, I did have quite a few plateaus. And that's frustrating because at the end of the week you get on the scale thinking, yeah, this is great, and you're the same, and you're like, oh, what, seriously? And it's a whole mental game. I think when you've been dieting pretty much on and off your whole life, you know, doing the usual slimming clubs, as great as they are, you get so sort of fixated with numbers and everything. But people do talk about non-scale victories, and I think these have been huge for me. Now, apart from I'm not napping, I've got abundant energy, my pain levels are right down. I mean, that is just amazing. But there's the clothes. There's the clothes that fit. Now, my weight is on my tummy, always has been, it's the way I am. So it's obvious when my clothes fit and when they don't fit. So I had to get some new clothes, but I didn't want to spend very much because I'm thinking, I've got a way to go yet. So good old Vinted came on in. Well done, Vinted. So last summer I brought some lovely little dresses, and I was still, you know, I'd lost maybe 1.5 stone, maybe 2 stone by then. I was feeling quite confident, but I didn't want to spend too much. So I sold some things on Vinted, bought some things on Vinted, and now I like going shopping. What about side effects? Pretty soon when I started, my main side effect was constipation. Sorry to talk about poo, but having been a nurse, don't bother me. Might offend some. But poo, you know, we all have to do it. Constipation, if you think about it, is going to happen because one of the ways GLP-1s work is they slow your gut down. The whole of your system slows down a little bit, and you can become constipated, and I did. But there are plenty of ways you can help with this, you know. I think one of them was, again, drinking water, which the bowel needs water to function, very important. But take a mild laxative, that was fine for a few days. And pretty much, to me, that settled over time. There are times when it sort of, say, rears its ugly head. I don't really like that, you know. But I think, oh, I'm a little bit constipated. So I just either take a little tablet of sone or something. Just so you know, wherever I am, I have 2 pugs with me. There's one here. This is Dibbly. Say hi, Dibs. Ooh. And then this is Pippa. Pippa. Woohoo. Pippi. This way. There she is. So yes, constipation, probably for me the main side effect. I have friends on this medication and they suffer a lot with nausea, and I really feel for them because that must be horrible. A lot of the medical staff say if you drink more water, sometimes that can help, but I think if you're having nausea, that must be awful. So I would always seek advice if that's the case. Let's talk about dosages. So I started off on the 2.5 milligrams, which is pretty standard in the UK because it comes with the quick pen. 2.5 milligrams, and I was on that for 8 to 9 weeks, and then I was on the 9th week I went up to 5 milligrams. Now when I first started, everyone was saying, oh, you have to be on this for a month, that for a month, but then the research was coming out that actually see how you get on. If you're still losing weight on 2.5 milligrams, then stay. So I did. I stayed for nearly 9 weeks, and then I went up, and that's how I've played it. So I haven't jumped up to the biggest dose. I'm currently on 12.5 milligrams. I've had a few weeks of that. That's the highest I've been to so far, but you really have to see how you feel. And again, I'm not a doctor, so speak to your healthcare provider about this issue, but just to see how you get on. And that's what I did. So I'm on 12.5 milligrams right now, and I'm just going to see how that goes because I'm not quite at maintenance. I want to lose maybe a little bit more and see how things go with maintaining everything. Supplements. I was recommended by a good friend who had also started Mounjaro at a similar time to take certain supplements. So I took some gummies for my tummy, gummies for my tummy, to help with the bowel and everything. I also got some multivitamins and vitamin D, and I still take those. I don't take the gummies anymore for my tummy. I take magnesium at night. Oh, collagen. I started collagen beginning of January this year, which goes in my coffee mid-morning every morning, and that's really nice. It tastes like Coffee Mate. Dose of collagen, which for somebody my age, sort of menopausal, well, probably post-menopausal now, that's always a good thing. So I have that as well. Where should you inject? Now for me it was a no-brainer because I have a larger tummy, so I've got very thin arms and very thin legs. It's just the way I'm built, a bit like a weeble, but that's okay. So I've injected in my tummy. I alternate the sides of my tummy, and you can see by the little bruises, not you can see, I can see by the little bruises each week, just to alternate it and keep it sort of fresh. And that's worked really, really well. I do it every Sunday night, just before I go to bed. So if I were to have any side effects, I would potentially sleep them off, and that's great. Downsides. There obviously are going to be downsides. Now, one of them, which sounds a bit bizarre, but going out for dinner, it doesn't quite have the same excitement as it did before. My husband and I have kind of built our relationship on food and enjoying food and wine and all those lovely things, which are great. But I think before, in my mind, it was a lot more like, you know, I'll have lots of food and maybe a bit too much wine, and it's lovely, but I don't have that same desire. Now, we still do go out for dinner, not as much because, again, I haven't got that burning passion. What I have done with my food, I've had those meal delivery systems come to my house in a box. There's several different companies. I currently have one beginning with G that sounds like Husto, and that's really good. So that helps me with my lack of imagination for planning meals, and they're really tasty. So we have a couple of those meals a week. And then I do a normal roast dinner one day a week, you know. And what I eat is I have my breakfast every morning, then I have a mid-morning for coffee with my collagen in, and sometimes I have a protein bar, and then lunchtime I just tend to have like a protein pudding or a yogurt like that. So I'm not that hungry during the day, but then in the evening, early evening, we always have a lovely cooked meal with as many vegetables as I can get in there, carbs as well, not too many carbs, but you know, if you look at your plate, it's a pretty healthy plate, plenty of protein again with meat. So I have the meat, the vegetables, and then in the evening when I have my cup of tea, and if my husband and I are watching a bit of telly late at night, I have a bit of chocolate with my cup of tea. So I don't feel as though I'm missing out. I think if anything had to be like really taboo, then it would be more difficult. Drinking alcohol. Now, obviously some people drink on this, no problem, but I just don't fancy it anymore. And that's not because I'm being holier than thou or anything. It's just that I can take it or leave it. So I occasionally might have a small glass of wine, but the days are gone where I could sit there with my husband and sort of have a couple of glasses of wine with a meal, because if I did do that, I probably wouldn't feel too well, but I just don't fancy it. And then it gets you thinking, if I don't fancy it, what's the point of drinking it? Because it's high in calories. You know, you could have a pudding instead if you wanted to. So that has changed quite a bit, going out for dinner. But there are other ways to treat yourself and to enjoy yourselves, like going shopping for new clothes. They do say there's no wrinkles on a balloon, which is quite true. So when I was larger, especially in my face, I was less wrinkly, so that has been a downside. I've obviously, you know, everything's sort of gone a little bit more wrinkly and saggy. And I have had a treatment, as you might have seen on previous videos, called Neogen. I've had just 2 of those so far. I may have some more in the future, but I am getting older, so I'm not too worried about it. I would rather be this weight and feel this healthy and this good than to be as I previously was, which was very overweight. I was obese, overweight, and not very happy with myself. Regarding food, I can definitely say don't eat fried food. On the odd occasion, I might have had a couple of chips. I mean, like talking chip shop chips, you know, and just because the smell is so lovely if my husband has them. And I might have 1 or 2, but then I have to stop, because if you have too many fried food and GLP-1s do not go together. Just a little tip there. Hydration. Oh my word. Drink, 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 drink. Water, water, water. Now I drink water with electrolytes and water and squash and tea and coffee, but hydrate as much as you can. Drink water. Just checking my plants out the window. My hydrangeas have actually survived over the winter. But guess what they need? Water. Guess what we need? We need water. We need water to survive. We need water for our weight loss. We need water for our bowels. Ooh, the bowel word again. We need water. Look. Water. You need water, don't you, girls? Good girls drinking. I was never a water drinker before, and now I drink water all the time. In fact, I drink about four bottles a day, and then I have my tea and coffee on top. But I think I'd really miss it if I couldn't drink it now. So drink as much as you can, and we know it helps to flush the system out as well. As you can see, Dibbly behind me will bark at anything that goes past, so I might have to move where I'm filming. I watched on social media last year and someone said, drink as though it's your job, drink as though your life depends on it, which probably kind of does in a way. So yeah, drink water. My life has had a new injection of energy and fun and hope for the future. And it sounds all too good to be true, but it's amazing. It takes work, it takes dedication, it takes resources because it's expensive. But boy, is it worth it? Yeah, I am so glad. Exercise. Now, I'm no gym bunny. I never have been, never will be. But I've started gentle exercise at home. For a start, I walk the dogs more and I can walk further. Maybe they can't, but I can. I do some Pilates at home. I've even started Asian Pilates at home. I have little weights that I keep in my bedroom and I try to build my arms up and everything. Little bits like that. It's kind of, for me, that's doable. If I joined a gym, it wouldn't last. I probably wouldn't use half the machines. But if I can exercise at home just to retain that muscle, to keep the muscles strong. And protein, you need to eat your protein. I can't eat as much protein as they probably say, but I look at what I'm eating. My food now is like fuel. I see my food as fuel. I do enjoy my food, but I see it more as, if I eat that, that's gonna satisfy my need, it's gonna satisfy my hunger, and it's gonna give me energy, and it's gonna give me strength. I've had a bit of a plateau recently, and it's okay. I think when you do plateau, you have to have a refocus time. Refocus, just look at your calories, look at your protein, look at your energy levels. Are you doing more exercise, less exercise? What are you doing? Could you possibly be eating something? Maybe it is taking over your calories. Are you in a calorie deficit? Now, at the beginning, I did do my calorie deficit and I did that for maybe a week or so. Then I soon realized that I don't like doing this. So I kind of know now what I eat, roughly how many calories they're in, and it seems to work. And I must be in a deficit because the weight loss has been steady. Well, I think I have rambled on quite enough on this video. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. If you have any questions that I can help with, again, I'm obviously not an expert in this, but it's just my own personal experience that I've been through and I'm still going through. If you want to message me or comment, I obviously can't speak highly enough of Mounjaro. I think it's really helpful to talk to other people about it. I have talked to lots of people, both medical and friends who are on the same medication. Just do your research and enjoy the journey. And if you're thinking about it and think about the reasons why you want to do it, I can guarantee you, you will not regret it. And yes, you have got to give yourself an injection every week, but I'm sure you'll get used to that. It really has changed my life. Again, it sounds really dramatic, but it's true. It's true. And as I mentioned before, I've got hope for the future, for a healthy future, and hopefully one that's full of good things. And I wish that for you too, and hopefully to see you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.